Hello, this is Anna Pacheco, SantaFe101.com, and my guest today is Linda Calhoun. Linda, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes, you do.
Well, great. Well, I want to talk to you all about real estate in Red River, but I went to your website this morning and I found out that you are the mayor of Red River. And as we speak, you're at town hall right now. That's your office there. So I want to talk. So how neat that I'm getting two things in one. Let's talk a little bit about you being the mayor, a little bit about Red River, the town itself, and then we'll talk about your real estate business, if that's okay.
Perfect. So yes, I am Linda Calhoun. I've been the mayor since 2006. So I'm in my fourth term. I was the first woman elected, and I'm also the longest serving mayor. So my husband was the mayor before me. So we're actually, he was the second mayor of the town. And then I've been the mayor since 2006.
So then there's only been, actually the town's only had 3 mayors in its history?
No, we've had more than that. We incorporated in 1972.
Okay.
So we've had, there's probably been 7 or 8.
Okay. So tell me what's it like to be, well, first of all, the first woman and then the longest serving mayor. Tell me what it's like to be having a leadership role in Red River.
Well, it's the best job I've ever had. I absolutely love it. I've had the honor to be involved at the state level with the New Mexico Municipal League. We probably our biggest accomplishment was to get 40 acres of land from the National Forest conveyed to the town, which was an act of Congress. And when they told me that, I didn't realize what that entailed, but it took us about 10 years to work on that. We've done lots of improvements. We've seen the town grow. We've seen our advertising grow because we're definitely a tourist town. So advertising and tourism is extremely important to us. That is our economic driver.
And how large? I mean, how many people? What is the population of Red River?
We have 474 year-round residents, but we also have another probably 1,000 people that live in the Upper Valley, which is an area about 3 miles out of town that's actually in the county. And then we have 350,000 year-round visitors. So if you kind of average it out, we probably act more like a town of 5,000 on a year-round basis when you look at our police and our fire, EMS, water, sewer plant, all that.
And you are part of Taos County, is that correct?
We are.
Okay. And so when you say 350,000, I'm assuming that you get the largest influx during the warmer months, like summertime, spring, summer, fall, or?
We do. We've seen a bit of a shift. When I first moved here in 1978, it was pretty much 50-50 winter and summer. And as we've expanded our events, we've kind of grown the season. So now we start Memorial Weekend and go through Columbus Weekend, which is that second weekend in October. And then we start skiing Thanksgiving, and we ski till about the 3rd week of March.
Okay, and so I know the Taos Ski Valley is right there, but isn't Sipapu close to you as well?
Sipapu is more south of Taos, but we have Angel Fire. So
Angel Fire.
In Circle, we have 4 ski areas.
Four ski areas. So that makes sense. You'd be really busy then. I know my sister goes up to Red River and she rents a cabin or something to go fishing. So I guess, in terms of outdoor recreation, you really have a lot going for you in that sense.
We do, and we have a lot of intergenerational tourism. Oh, I apologize, somebody's up here. So people that have been coming for years and years and years, and it's just a real magical place to people that come here.
And in terms of like amenities, how far? I mean, do you have to drive into Taos to go to the grocery store, or
we have a grocery store here. It's a full service grocery store with a liquor department of produce, meat. So, you can get what you need here. Granted, our prices are a little bit higher than they are at Smith's or Albertsons in Taos. So a lot of our people travel to Taos to do their grocery shopping, of course, to go to the doctor. We have a dentist that comes up a couple of days a week, and we do have a clinic. But we're pretty rural. We're pretty small.
Well, you mentioned a police and fire department. Do you have full-time police and fire department there?
We do. We have 4 full-time police officers. We have a full-time fire chief, and we have a very, very impressive EMS department. In fact, our EMS are doing a COVID clinic today, testing our residents.
Okay, good. So now we can shift gears here now. And so I was looking at your website and your real estate firm, am I pronouncing it right? Is it Calhoun?
Yes, it is.
Calhoun Real Estate has been in existence since 1962. So when I looked at you, I said, oh my Lord, you look great for having been running this business for so long. But so tell me the story behind that.
Okay, so my father-in-law started the company. He moved here in 1959 and built a grocery store. And
what was his name? What was his name?
His name was Glenn Calhoun.
Okay.
So he had the grocery store, and then my husband took over the grocery store, and we built Dermart food store. And once they did that, then my father-in-law decided to branch off into the real estate business. So it was Glenn A. Calhoun Real Estate, and he started that in 1962. And so we have been in operation continuously since 1962. And
so I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in that time.
Well, I have. I mean, I've lived in Red River since 78, and I didn't start selling real estate until 85. But we've seen when my father-in-law started, they were just developing the Upper Valley. And so he sold most of the land in Valley of the Pines and Monte Vista, which now has some of the oldest cabins in town in it. But, people were buying them for $5,000, putting $100 down and paying them out, and land that now would cost $150,000. So we've seen that. In the early 80s, we had the big townhouse boom where lots of townhouses were built and the condos, and now it's kind of settled down. I think people are back to wanting single family cabins.
And so do people, your clients, are they primarily second home owners, or are there people that are saying, I'm getting the heck out of Dallas or a big city and I'm just going to live in Red River year round?
That's what's happened since the pandemic. Once March 17th of last year, we started seeing people from the cities come in here because they could work remotely, because we do have very good internet access. And so we had many of our second homeowners came and lived here from March till the kids started going back to school, because the kids were working remote, were doing remote schooling, and the parents were working. Now what we're seeing is people are wanting to leave the city and buy here. We have the lowest inventory right now than we've ever had since I've been in the business. I was looking for a property for someone a week or so ago, and there was only one property under $325,000. So basically all that's left on the market is the $500,000 to $1 million homes.
So that was going to ask you, what is the median cost of a home in Red River right now?
It used to be about $350,000 to $450,000. But now what's available is, $750,000 to $1.2, $1.3. We have one condo that went on the market last week that's already under contract, and we have one townhouse for $3.25. And other than that, it's single family over $500,000.
And so, like a townhome or a condo, what would they run in terms of price?
Well, typically they would have run anywhere from $150,000 to $250,000. But we're seeing those prices increase because there is no supply right now, and there's a very high demand.
And do you have any new construction coming on board? I mean, you said that you had a huge piece of land that was, I guess it was a congressional act or something. Has that all been built out, or is there any new land available?
That was actually land for the town. So our wastewater treatment plant and our cemetery and our parks and some of our streets were on Forest Service land. And so that was conveyed to the town. So we're in a unique situation because we are completely surrounded by the Carson National Forest. So we don't have much land. And what we have is pretty well being built on. And as far as new construction, yes, right now we have four new homes, I think, are being constructed. And I know there's one more that's getting ready to start the end of the month. So we're having a really, really good year with new homes.
And are these homes, I'm assuming they're already sold, right? I mean, these aren't spec houses.
Oh, yeah. No, these are spec houses. One is actually by ours. We're building a new house starting the end of the month. So we are probably the only ones that are full-time. The other are all going to be second homes.
But is there still land available where there more people could buy land and build?
Very limited, very limited.
And you mentioned that, you know, people want to live here full time. Do you have schools? I mean, if people are moving here with children, can they go to school in Red River, or do they have to go up to Taos?
They can. We actually have a charter school that is kindergarten, actually pre-K through 8th grade. And then we have Cuesta and Eagle Nest for middle school or elementary through middle school. And Cuesta goes through high school. And then there's a charter school in Angel Fire that's a high school charter school. And then a lot of our kids will go to Cimarron High School. And they also go to Taos Academy, which is a charter school in Taos. But most of them stay either Eagle Nest, Angel Fire, Cuesta.
And in terms of do you sell real estate in other communities? Do you sell in Angel Fire, or do you sell in Cuesta, or do you basically have enough to do being the mayor of Red River?
Well, I do have three brokers that work with me. So I have 3 associate brokers. And we mainly focus on Red River, because even though the Enchanted Circle is such a, it's a well-known tourist area, each community is very different. So Angel Fire is much more spread out, and they have their own unique situation. Taos is very different than Red River. So we pretty much focus on Red River. I have one agent that used to live in Cuesta, so we do some in Cuesta.
And what's Cuesta like? I mean, from what I remember, it was just like a small, like Hispanic little village. What's going on in Cuesta these days?
That's pretty much. They have a very strong economic development department, and they are working. They have the new Rio Grande del Norte National Monument that was established there a few years back. And they also have some beautiful hiking trails and the wild rivers. So they do promote tourism with the fish hatchery and the fishing and the hiking. But we get most of our employees from Cuesta. It's a very old, established Hispanic community, wonderful people there.
And so it's not really a place for second homes or that type of thing.
It's not. They are having some VRBOs. I know that's they're beginning to promote that, and they do have some beautiful areas down there. So that's beginning to grow. They also have Cabresto Lake, but it's not really that strong of a tourist area yet.
And who would be like, in terms of a demographic, do you tend to get people that are retirement age that are living in your community, or is it kind of across the board at this point?
It's across the board. We get a lot of transient labor because we have the ski instructors that want to come up and spend the winter here and ski. And so of course that's the younger demographic. And then we have families. Families love it here. So it's the perfect place to vacation because your kids are safe. You can let them roam and be out on the trails and hike. And so it's a really good place for families. And then of course in the fall, when the trees are changing, that's when we get more of the older retired people, but we have them all.
And in terms of, do you see, like, do you have a large influx? I know here in Santa Fe, we get a lot of people, well, California and Texas, a lot of, I mean, we have a mix, there's other people as well, but that seems to be a large percentage. Is that the same thing up in Red River? Like, is there a certain state that you're getting people from? Our
biggest market is Texas.
Why do you think they like it so much?
We're the closest mountains. It's when it's 105 degrees in Texas, it's really nice to get to the mountains of New Mexico, and we're the closest. I think we just have historically we've got a lot of businesses here that are owned by Texans, and it's just where our demographic has always come from. Texas, Oklahoma, it's just a good job market.
And you say, yeah, well, so you're saying it's close by. Like, what is the biggest major city in Texas that's close to you?
Amarillo. In the Panhandle, and they're 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours away, but you still get.
Dallas-Fort Worth is huge for us, and we've started seeing a lot more coming in from Austin and Houston.
Okay. You know, I've always heard this about Texans that they never gauge distance by like miles, like, 600 miles to say it's a 12-hour drive. I mean, I've seen to people from Texas, they'll drive from Dallas for a long weekend and then they'll just jump back in the car. So I think Texans they're road warriors for sure.
Yes. Well, they
And
have to be.
I'm
They
sorry.
have
Well,
to be. They have to
and
be.
in terms of because you said you have ski instructors and different people, so is there a rental market? I mean, there are people can people rent and not own to be there for short periods?
Our housing market, our workforce housing is definitely always been a problem for us. In fact, the town 2 years ago bought 2 of our old hotels and converted those into workforce housing. So we added 34 apartment units into the housing. But that's rental is very hard to find because people want to buy property, they want to rent it nightly, and they want to make an income on it so they can help offset the mortgage.
So you're saying so then Airbnb is doing well up there?
We have 3 property management companies, and then we have Airbnb, VRBO, all of those companies are here. And there's probably 450 to 500 rental properties in town that people rent to the tourists coming in.
And those stay full probably year round, or?
They stay full probably 125 days a year because of the seasonality that we have.
So you're saying if somebody's watching this interview now, Red River as an investment property, if you can find one, is a great way to go.
Yes, definitely. Because like I said before, being surrounded by the national forest, we're not going to have any land. I mean, what we have is what we have. And in 2008, when the market really took a dip, our values stay very steady. We might correct occasionally if we begin to get too high, but as far as plummeting, we're not going to.
And do you have like a stickler list of people you'd call up? They're saying, I know there's something available, but you call me when anything gets on the market. Do you have a whole list of those people just waiting to come to your area?
We do. And we also set it up on the MLS where we can, set up their email. And then as soon as something comes on the market, they're immediately notified. So they don't have to constantly watch our website and we don't have to constantly be calling them, but they just instantly are notified.
Okay, and you mentioned that you're surrounded by the Carson National Forest. What is your proximity to Picaris Pueblo? Are you close by?
Picaris is south of us. It's going to be, I'm just blank. That's going to be down in the Penasco area. So it's going to be south of Taos. It's about an hour from us.
Oh, so it's still, I thought maybe it was closer. So would you be closer to Taos Pueblo than Picaris?
Definitely closer to Taos Pueblo.
Okay, well, that's also just a big tourist draw because I know in the summer months, I know September 30th is the feast day of St. Jerome, San Jeronimo at Taos Pueblo, and that's always a big, people like to go to that. And then I know in August, Picaris has the San Lorenzo feast day. So I know that, people come from Santa Fe and different places to go up to these feast days. So those are probably also attractions to people if they're interested in being close to, some type of a Native American feast day festival, that type of thing, which are open to the public, right?
Right, and the Taos Pueblo also has the wonderful Christmas Eve.
I've been to that. I have been to those bonfires and the procession. Isn't that incredible? Yeah. So, well, it sounds like a lot's going on in Red River. Anything? I mean, I know this is a different time for all of us because we're all still in the midst of COVID. Although it's looking better, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Any projections, for summer, fall of 2021 that you think is going to happen, or for Red River?
Well, we had a really good summer last year, which was surprising with all the shutdowns, but we really did because people still wanted to go somewhere where they felt safe, and they feel safe here. But I think we're going to begin to see things open up as more and more people are vaccinated and have had the virus. They're going to begin to travel, and I feel like we're going to see people traveling domestically. And I think that's going to help all of our tourist areas. And they just love New Mexico. It's a wonderful place to come visit. So we're starting to plan for special events because Red River always has special events all summer. And we know that we may have to change, but we're beginning to think about having them. And I think we'll have a good summer. I
And
hope
your
we can
your
extend it.
restaurants are at least partially open now, and probably by the summer the percentage will be higher. Is that
I
true?
hope so. I hope that we're in turquoise and that we're almost completely open.
Okay, are you in green right now?
We were in green for 2 weeks. We went back to yellow last Wednesday, so we're in yellow currently. But we
Okay.
can be at 33% inside our restaurants. The ski area is open, our shops are open, our hotels, I think, are at 50%. So
I think by the
we've got
summer.
a pretty good crowd right here, right now.
Oh, good. Well, President Biden said that by July 4th, we can all celebrate Independence Day with our, immediate family and close friends. So do you have anything plans? Is there any special event happening for July 4th in Red River?
We always have a wonderful 4th of July parade. And last year was our 125th anniversary of the town, because we were founded in 1895 and we had to do a virtual celebration. So we may do something like that. We were talking about the parade this morning with the Chamber of Commerce. So we're hoping that we'll have something.
Excellent.
I'm counting on President Biden. That's what he said. So I'm counting on it.
I know. I told my sister this week, I said, we're having a barbecue this year, because this whole year I haven't seen anybody. I'm looking forward to that 4th of July barbecue. We're at the end of the interview. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with in terms of, being the mayor of Red River, or being, I take it you're probably the oldest realtor in realtor company in Red River?
We are. So no, Red River's here. We're not going anywhere. We're going to weather this pandemic, and it's just a wonderful place to be.
Well, I'm going to come see you. How's that?
Well, I think you should. You can't miss me. I'm right by the grocery store.
Well, thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.